Welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. It's Chuck here. We got 10 properties today, and why don't we get right to it? The first one up is 30 Glebe Terrace. It's at 332.9, and so it's called a sumac corner. And one of the unique things it has that a lot of the townhomes don't is it's got a little room here. Some people use it as a workout room or an office or a hobby room or something like that. So that's a really kind of neat space. And they've got 3 bedrooms upstairs, and they've got the elevation that just has the one full bathroom up on the top level. And it's a pretty good layout. It's open concept. They've done furniture to the right scale. It all looks good. The photos, I think, showcase it extremely well. The neutral colors, and that's more in line. I talked about one yesterday. It's a little closer to 340. I think this is more in line with what's reasonable. It's almost like the exact same size as the one we showcase. So good stuff. I like it there. And Bell Street is the next one, 349. And so it's like a 1.5 story. So you're going to see on the second level that the ceilings kind of slope in. Not a particularly big home. It's on a 50 by 115 foot lot, and really mostly land value. I mean, there was a lot on Lydia going for 349. I think it's sold conditional or maybe sold by now. But you can see beside they've started to build a bigger home, and I could certainly see that happen with this property. Even though the house isn't that bad, the kitchen cabinets, it looks like, have been upgraded, and there's some backsplash and things like that. You know, it really works for a first-time buyer. You just want to kind of check the condition. It's old enough, this home, that you want to check the roof and the windows and furnace and all that stuff. But I think it would work for a lot of people, and that's why it's probably going to go pretty quick. There's no garage in here, which may turn some people away, but it's still good value. What do you get for $350 these days in Milton? Not a whole lot. Stark Circle is $350, and speaking of which, and so this is a Croftside Mall. It's about 1,380 square feet. And so it's the end unit Croftside, so that typically adds anywhere from kind of $5,000 to $8,000. And I've seen middle units that have sold up in this range as well. So these guys are doing really, really well. You get the extra window here and also at the top of the stairs. And you can see everything is just put together, you know, nice. It's not sort of, you know, upgraded to the nines, but it's still good value. And these models are very, very popular models. So they're going to do well. Stark Circle's a nice quiet street. And so the next one up is Higginbotham. And so this is like the new Croftside. It's like 1,370 square feet, right around the same size, 20,000 more than the previous one. And there's probably a bit of a premium put on for the newer properties. But really, there's another one listed at 369. These guys have kind of followed that model. I don't know if maybe that's stretching it a little too far. I don't know if people are ready to pay that kind of money for, you know, this size of townhouse, even if it is nice. We start to see semis start to appear up around the 370, and even larger semis at that. Okay, so good looking floors here. And I think overall it shows pretty well. It does have the 2 full bathrooms upstairs. That's the ironing and stuffed animals room. And you got to pay for a fence here too, which is normally something that you would share the cost with your neighbors. And so Houston, 449, fully detached home, and it's got a 1.5 car garage. So the nice thing is you're not playing switcheroo with the cars. You've got a driveway that's wide enough to fit 2. Now it's only a 32-foot lot, so you figure a garage and a half. Like we talk a lot about 36-foot lots with 2-car garages. Same kind of idea here is that probably 16 feet of that is garage plus a couple feet on either side. So this main hallway really doesn't have a lot. You might have a closet, maybe a powder room, but you don't really get the living area until you get past the garage and the floor plan. So the back of the house tends to be a little bit, it tends to open up a little bit more. So there's your family room. And then you also have your kitchen here. And there might be a small area for a dining table, but I don't think there is, okay? So I think your eat-in kitchen is really your dining space. So you have a smaller main floor, but what happens is the upstairs really opens up because now you can cover all above the 1.5 car garage. And there you go, plus a finished basement too. So even if you made the main floor a little bit more of a formal area, turn the family room into maybe like a small sitting area with a dining table, and then had your fun down in the basement, it would still work. Okay, so anything, you know, even a garage and a half, that extra half space really makes a difference for people. Whether it's a workshop, whether it's just storing stuff, if you've got a motorcycle, anything like that, it can really work to your advantage. And when we profiled a couple yesterday that were going up in the 480s for single car garage, I look at 449, and I think these guys are going to do quite well. And it's a nice little area too. It's right in the Bruce Trail Public School area. Clark is a Snowberry model. It's about 2,000 square feet. It's at 5049 and an impressive front for sure. It's a single car garage. And so that's your front room. That's kind of like I believe it's the dining room right when you walk in the front of the house, and you can see the corner pot lights. Excellent looking kitchen. I just think, there's one on Hepburn that was a little bit bigger than this with a finished basement, also done very well, and they couldn't crack 5. So with this being a smaller home with no finished basement, try to get this price, let's just say it might be challenging for these guys. Okay, so the next one up is Marshall, and it's at 584.9. It's a Glenwood, 2572 square feet. I think there's 3 or 4 of these for sale. This one is a bit towards the higher end, but it also has a finished basement. I think that's the value, and I think it probably, out of competing with these models, I think this one is probably the most likely to go first. And there you go. So really, there's hardwood in some places, but not others. I think that's an impressive looking basement. They've certainly done things like the moldings and pot lights, and I'm sure it looks good in person. Okay, so little things here. You've got a nice gazebo. All good. Okay, really nice. And it's got a good size. It's the kind of home that you could really live in with a family for a long time. The master's not as huge, but what you get as an advantage from my experience with this model is you get nice sized bedrooms that are all nice and balanced. So if you have older kids, very good model for that. Okay, Bustle Crescent, 589. So you've got a couple solar panels up on the top. We're starting to see more and more of that. And I think depending on the house, it certainly, I mean, if your roof is really close to the road, it can affect your curb appeal. Something like this, where this is the main feature and your solar panels are a little bit further back, that's not so bad. Okay, so you've got a brick and a stone front, and inside, not a lot going on in here. It's pretty much vacated. And so that's the family room above the garage. Okay, so you can see this would be the hallway, I guess, to get to the bedrooms. And it looks like it has a walkout as well. Now, it didn't showcase in these photos. I looked it up, but it actually overlooks green space. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how we kind of look at things when we're doing research for clients. So it's on Bustle Crescent, and we have the ability with our system to actually see individual land plots. So I can tell you that it's one of these homes. It's on this side. So the green space is all through here, little channel, and then you've got up here, there's some train tracks, and then if I kind of move this over a little bit, this is Cedar Hedge, which is the old 4th line, and so you've got the dog park up here, and then you've got this set of, or bunch of trees here, a little forest. And then you look at that and you say, oh boy, what's that going to be? Okay, so now we go into the zoning maps, milton.ca, go into zoning, then look for urban maps. And then what you'll see is you'll see the representation of this space here. So here's Bustle Crescent, and then you've got the homes all along this side. So it's one of these homes. And you can see GA, it's like G stands for green space, and GB right here. Open space, so typically that's parkland. You can see open space just over here. And so that plot of land that's been cleared off, it appears to be residential medium density. So you just want to check with the town to see what's planned for there. And my understanding with medium density is you're probably looking at kind of townhouses, semis, that kind of stuff, not big detached homes. So that is definitely something to consider, but at least it's not an apartment building as far as we can tell from the zoning maps. Okay, so $589 is the price on that one. The walkout's helping them. I think you can find more square footage for that size, so it really comes down to value from the green space and perhaps some of the upgrades in here too. Robarts is at $644.9. It's a 5-bedroom. So anytime you see 5-bedroom, you're talking probably 3,000 square feet or so. Or more. Okay, so this one here is, inside hardwood floors. You've got the, looks like a higher ceiling here as well. Although it could be 8 feet. It can be tricky sometimes to tell from photos. Granite countertop, undermounted sink. And that's the real win here is getting the forest behind you. Okay, and it's on a 114-foot lot. So I think there's a lot of value here at 644.9. There's things that you just can't find anywhere else in terms of lot and woods and everything behind. And I talked about this with the Turner property. Hadfield School District is quite desirable. It's a good place to be. And Dolby Crescent's the last listing of the day. It's at 749. It's a Bergs, 3331 square feet, and it was the former Mattamy model home. Okay, so one of the things that may affect them is the location. So it's on this side of Dolby, and there's really nothing in front of it, and it's busy traffic going all the way through. Okay, so I get that there's nostalgia for the model home, and believe me, it's really, really nice inside. You can feel it's a little bit dated. You can even see the carpet is almost kind of a greenish gray color, and I mean, fantastic inside, but even there's no hardwood. Someone may look at that and say, I'm going to have to put hardwood into this home. You've got 9-foot ceilings on both floors, which is really hard to find. A very tastefully upgraded kitchen. You've got the built-ins. There's just things that you probably can't find anywhere else. That, I believe, is the second floor den. Okay, so on the second floor you've got 4 bedrooms plus a den area, and then there's the master there. Ensuite's very impressive. These mirrors really enhance the appearance here. You've got a nice high ceiling, very tastefully done. So I just think the location is tough, and I mean, you know, we see these models sell all the time for $650. You know, even nice ones at $650. So $100,000 more with a tough location. Like, I get that it's really nice, but it'll be tricky for these guys. It'll be a tough one to sell because people have options at $750. So anyhow, that's the list for today, and enjoy your day, and just get in touch if you need our help. Thanks. Bye.